my name is Jack Morgan and welcome to my ICT 200 video. Today we will be analyzing two infographics and I will be showing you how I made my new infographic, improving on these two infographics. Did you know that 22% of all Americans in the United States are overweight and about 18% of children are overweight? This is an incredibly prevalent problem in today's society. One of the biggest factors contributing to this problem is the consumption of fast food. This is my first infographic. It's about American dudes and fast food, American men and the consumption of fast food. The biggest problem I see with this infographic is that there's no sources and there's no citing of data. For example, there are lots of surveys and lots of data taken, but there are no examples of where they got this information. Another big problem is there could definitely be a lot of bias because it's only aimed at middle-aged men and not all people, and not even other types of men. It's just middle-aged men. So there could be bias there, and there could be bias based on different food chains. For example, right here it says that McDonald's is the most eaten food chain by middle-aged men. Another thing that comes up is just Salt's principle of closure. Right here in the cup, there's an open space, and in this burger, it's all open, but our minds fill it in because that's how we've been trained to think. So overall, I think this infographic is good, but I feel like the author could have done a better job of citing his sources and really just making just a better infographic, because clearly I think he was a creative thinker because of the use of colors and graphs and whatnot, but I think it could be better. This is my second infographic, and this analyzes the consumption of fast food based on each city. And this infographic crowns Plano, Texas as the biggest fast food city in America. This author claims that Plano spends the most money on the fast food in the United States. It also shows which cities consume the most of each different types of fast food. For example, it says that Louisville, Kentucky is a leading consumer of McDonald's, and Miami, Florida is a leading consumer of Subway. It also lists all of the other fast food chains. This infographic has one major issue, as the first one is credibility. It has multiple major issues, but the first one is credibility. Obviously the same with the last one. It has lots of facts and lots of data, but there's nothing to support it. And I just found it on the internet, so on Google, so I don't know if the website did not give credit to any author or anything else, because there was a link to the website when I found it. And so this makes me question the entire credibility. Like, how do I know where these facts are coming from or all this data is coming from? I'm not really sure. So there's nothing that acknowledges that. I feel like it is dull and nothing really stands out, so this shows that the author is more of a critical thinker, because it's like dull and it's just all about facts. There's nothing that really stands out to me, at least. And I definitely think there could be bias because it talks about the cities, and based on what the author wants this infographic to say, there could be bias. For example, if he's from somewhere and he doesn't like Plano, Texas, then he could say Plano, Texas is the worst because they eat the most fast food, which may seem silly, but it's definitely a very biased thing that could occur. This infographic is a bit tough to tell who the audience is. It's just really aimed at all people. But I believe that the target audience is pretty much anyone who consumes fast food, and especially people who live in the cities listed on this infographic. The author tried, I guess, to convey information about fast food, but I feel he didn't do it in the best way. My infographic builds off these two infographics by showing obesity in America because of consumption of fast food and lack of a healthy diet and lack of physical exercise. I worked out these infographics because they talked about fast food, and I talked about the consumption of fast food contributing to obesity in my infographic. I feel as though I was more of a critical thinker on this because I used a lot of numbers and facts and a smaller amount of graphs, and I felt like it gets the point across better. As my target audience is parents of obese children, or parents in general, or anyone in general who is curious about obesity and needs to know the problems, because this is a very important problem in our society. And I also used Gestalt's principle of proximity right here with these two graphs. And I used this graph here to show the obesity rates by state.
Let's eradicate.
Hope the analysis and creative processes shown in this video were very helpful when viewing future infographics for all the viewers. I also hope that the real dangers of obesity are made well known, because this is a very prevalent problem in our society. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.